All right, mate.
Hi, Chris.
All right.
How are you? Um, we've never properly spoken, if you know what I mean, on our own.
No, no. You've actually caught me. Look, doing a bit of sci-fi.
Ah,
I'm
what?
gonna.
It's the stop again.
Yeah. I've just put it together. I've stick some wiring through already. Because I couldn't glue it together until I got worked out how many wires I needed through it.
Yeah.
So,
How's that progressing? The introduction
it's
to electronics.
sorry.
How's your introduction to electronics progressing?
Oh, so. Tonight, all I wanted to do was work out how to do the cannons. And to tell you the truth, an LED, I was quite surprised. If I use clear styrene rod,
Yeah.
and if you scratch it, the actual light comes out the side, doesn't it?
Well, it's the same basic principle as using a piece of perspex or something. Yeah.
Yeah, gotta say, so LED on there, it actually goes through there with an LED on, and there's several bands there, and obviously we get the red light at the end, and you get it in several bands, and I just pulse the LED quickly, and it looks like it's firing. You get
Yeah.
the red bands and then the red. I think I'll go for that method for the cannons.
That's a nice idea. I know you can get side emitting optical fiber, so instead of being just lit at one end, it actually lights the whole strip. Similar idea, but I think your idea will work better. And if you have the styrene,
It was by mistake that I found out that you can get the light to come out the side of this clear styrene. What it was, there was a label on it, and I pulled the label off, and it left the sticky, and it glowed through the side where the sticky was off the label. I thought,
well,
well, if I take the shine off it, and it does, where you take the shine off the clear styrene, it shines through the sides,
yeah.
and it doesn't through the clear.
How much of a length do you have to light? It's just like a little piece, or like two to
Um,
three inches, or
well, the LED, well, it's probably 2 inches, but I'll only have about the inch showing. The rest will be. It's just to physically get the LED. I can't get it down the very end because of diameter. The LED is about here,
right?
so I've got
Yeah.
that much clear. Just a couple of inches, but I'll only have about an inch of it with light coming out.
Yeah. How big an LED is it? A 3 mm, 5 mm?
It's a 3 mil, and I'm playing with the resistors to take it right to the limit. It's an
Right.
ultra bright red.
Yeah. What voltage are you aiming for?
Sorry?
What voltage are you aiming for?
Well, to tell you the truth, these ones, I've got no spec on them, but I'm presuming, because the red ones don't normally go quite so high, but I've
Yeah.
got several, so I can take them to the limit, and then I know where to back off.
Normally with our setups, we either work 9 volts or 12 volts.
I'm working
Um,
12.
well, 12, then a 470 ohm resistor.
Mm.
That will allow you to drive at 12 volts, I think.
Well,
From
what I'll
memory.
do,
Yeah.
I'll put two in series, you see. Anyway, I'll put the two
Yeah.
in series. And then, because what I've struggled, I've actually cut the back out of the droid. So I've got somewhere to store stuff in the back of the droid, and I've actually got that's quite a big void in there.
It's
So,
quite a big. It's a bigger kit than I thought it was. I've seen the boxes, but I've never seen the actual
oh
kit.
yeah, once you put him together, he's quite large.
Yeah.
The only thing that was a bit of a disappointment was the base is very shallow. You can't get anything in the base.
Oh, so you can't run cables or yeah.
No, I've actually allowed, if I need to, I put a hollow tube to put these cables. They're just spare, just in case.
Mhm.
I've run 6, but it's just so that I could put it together. I haven't got to use them if I don't want to,
You,
but they're
you've
there just in case.
you've never been tempted to light an aircraft.
I have got some light. I have lit aircraft before because we do a lot of RC, but never
Oh,
small
okay.
stuff. I have got some lighting kits for aircraft, to say the truth, but The LEDs are just too large for the size that I'm playing with, you see.
We have some of us have been using SMDs, which are the really tiny ones.
I've got them, the little surface mount ones. I've got
Yeah.
a load. Because
Um,
for me truck, we scan your truck,
oh,
all
of
the
course.
lights, they're very shallow, the side mark lights, so I've got a load of those, but
That's an advanced project. That sort of lighting, yes.
I know.
But
There's,
that's the whole thing. It's keeping your interest. It's keeping going.
yeah, there's
Um,
30 odd LEDs in the truck,
right.
but the advantage we use in the Arduino is like the headlights, I can use the same LED as side light, main, like a headlight and main beam. I don't need individual, so I can cut down the LEDs.
Right. Yeah. Have
Which
you got on much with the programming?
um, um, it's a case of if I'm learning the programming, I'm not building the model. There's not enough hours in the day, so I'm trying.
I know that
But
feeling. Yes.
you don't get anywhere really.
Yeah. Yeah. I had got an Arduino at one stage with the intention of looking at it, but again, it's just been put away in one of the boxes for a future project.
Well,
We'll
I've
get
got a couple because
there.
if you have the very small, so if you have the very small ones, they're very cheap.
Yeah. Oh, when I bought this was about 2 years ago, and the Arduinos then were £20 each.
I'm paying less than £2.
Yeah, I can believe it. I have a friend, Neil Wooding, who is he has a company called Wild House Models,
Yeah,
and he did a stasis tube, a sort of a freezing tube for a spacecraft,
yeah,
as his first kit he produced, and it's got an Arduino programming board or programmed board on the bottom of it, which goes through a sort of a sequence of freezing, thawing, the different things
yeah,
you see in a sci-fi thing. And it went quite successfully for him. He's developing other kits, but again, the cost of the Arduinos just dropped like a stone. So especially if you get them in bulk from China,
yeah.
and then just a matter of programming, as you say, with the little daughter board into a Arduino. I can't remember which one he uses now, but the way to go, I suppose. But I didn't realize you could do the C programming too. I think it might have been your Hangout. Someone was commenting about.
Yes, Greg.
Yeah, yeah.
Greg.
So that's another interesting development. We'll see. No, I'm busy with this monstrous. Well, not monstrous. That's not fair. I'm still at this ship. So it's a bit more to work on than.
Yeah.
Yeah, and first time I had to do a scratch build because all the pieces were missing, but it turned out I'm happy with the way that the results have gone because all of this is probably blown out there.
Yeah.
All of this I had to start to make from scratch, so it's all that everything that's white is.
I managed when you put your last Hangout up. I did manage to catch some bits and pieces of it, and you were saying, yeah.
It's interesting. It's something I haven't done before, and it's a challenge. It's rather than just buy the kit, whatever, stick it together. It's something different you have to do. But I'm leaving the superstructure for a couple of days and trying to work on all these little fiddly things like. Hold on, camera's in a different place. I don't know if. Let's see if I can see it.
Yeah. Oh,
it's all little winches and sub-assemblies. There's lots of those. But I'm getting there. But I was surprised then when you went ahead with the Viper. If I'd known, I would have. Well, it was a bit late, right enough when I saw it. But if I'd known, I would have done something with you. But it's another one of my kits in my stash, which has gotten far too big. I have to stop buying stuff.
I'll keep saying that. I'll do well for a few weeks.
Do you ever look on Gumtree?
No, I don't, to tell you the truth.
An example is, that ship is from Gumtree. That was £15.
All right.
And that's normally, I think, that was the original kit before the Platinum Edition. That was normally about £55 to buy. I'll show you this. You'll be interested in this one. Hold on a second. Get this kit. If I can get it out. Hold on. Not that one. Uh-uh. Can you see it?
Oh, it's the Zukimura.
Yeah. How much?
I don't know. Don't, because I want a Zukimura, but the silly prices.
£10.
Oh gosh.
And it was someone was selling them. I think it was a. I get the impression that perhaps her father had died or something. She's just clearing the decks, and there was
Yep.
that as well.
Oh, Trumpeter 109.
That was £12.
Oh, that's all right. Oh, bloody hell.
So there was a third one. I can't think what the third one was now.
Well, I better not look, because I'll only end up spending money. I said I'm not going to. Not till the next show.
Yeah, it's just that people. It seems to be a case of that most of the time they're not modelers. They're just someone that happens to have kits in a relative or something, or something's been sitting in the attic for a long time.
Yeah.
And they just want to clear the decks a bit. So it's an interesting way of maybe getting a bargain.
Yeah.
Although, as I say, I've been buying too much that way, so too much temptation.
You don't get too many bargains off YouTube, off eBay these days.
No. Most people.
It's too silly prices.
Mm. The odd time, it depends. The classic one, there was a Star Trek kit I wanted, the Defiant, which is one of the Deep Space Nine spacecraft. I couldn't get it anywhere. I looked everywhere, and then a guy in the Lake District, runs a little shop in the Lake District, told me that he had seen it on Mark's Models, which is a Dublin company. As you know, I'm based over in Northern Ireland, so
Yeah.
but again, it's a 3.5 hour drive. I'm not going to drive down there, but the reason he spotted it was they had spelt it wrong. Instead of Defiant, they had spelled Defiant, instead of F-I-A-N-T, and it hadn't sold because every time someone went looking for it, they had typed in Defiant and hadn't found it. So it was one of those things of, you can find things, but it's usually a mistake or an error or someone that doesn't know what they're doing. So, are you painting the Viper in a different way? Is that the idea?
The Viper, I'm going to do in RAF colours, I think.
Very good. I think I've seen one do. Someone did a US Air Force one.
Yeah.
At one stage, so same idea. Why not? Yeah, I mean they were heading back to Earth anyway, so.
I've got the other Viper that the Revell one looks a better kit, and also it's easier to light, so I'll do that one. How it's supposed to be, but this one was just a bit of fun. That's why we did it as a hangout.
Yeah.
I've got to admit the Mobius instructions are real crap. Crap.
The weird thing is the one I have is it's a Mobius kit, but it's reissued by Revell.
Oh, right.
So it was in who had it? It was TK Maxx. You know the way they sometimes have kits that at very low prices. So that's why I got that one. But it's just odd. As you say, the instructions are.
What's very misleading when you come to put the engines on and the wings and that. There's an order. It doesn't tell you in the instructions that if you get the order wrong, the wings won't fit on because they're slotted in between two other parts that go on after it. Yeah. And that was the thing where you could come unstuck. Especially if you're new to it, and you haven't really got a clue.
If you weren't familiar with it, if it was it's like you doing the Star Wars droid. I don't know how familiar. I mean, if you didn't have instructions, you could stick parts in the wrong places, type of thing. So or upside down. That's a class. Especially with this thing here is so many parts, and they're all just teeny. So and there are mistakes in the instructions apparently. So
yeah. Well, I've had a bit of a setback with this. I thought I'll glue the cannons on. I can paint it and drop the LEDs in later because of masking inside where the cannons are open at the end.
Yeah.
And then realised I can't get them in. I hit the back of the stab.
The only other thing you need to watch. I don't know if you've made allowance for light blocking.
Inside there.
Yeah.
What I'm going to do, the LED, I've put it in black ink shrink and part the way down it. That's how I'm blocking the light.
You'd be surprised how bright they are, but they will show through the plastic. If you haven't, you primed it with your usual Poundland primer.
Inside. Well, no, yeah, the outside will, yes.
Yeah, it
That
should be enough. It should be
yeah.
enough. But it's funny. I have that big X-wing that I've up there that I lit, and I thought I had covered every single inch of it with black interior and
Yeah.
sealed everything. And then you get stuff called tulip, which is a sort of a fabric paint.
Oh yeah.
Tulip slick. It's completely black. So if you are doing LEDs and you want to make sure they're completely light.
I think he uses that. Is it Brad Hare? Tulip. I wondered what it was. It's
Yeah.
like a fabric. It's
The fabric.
oh, right,
It comes out. It looks like very, very, very thick paint, but it's totally opaque. It's fantastic when you are trying to seal something. The other thing with what people do as well is the wiring into the LED. If you've got shrink tube,
yeah.
or you put that on it, and obviously
That's what I've done. I've put it in black shrink tube.
That'll help a lot.
That's what I've
What
done.
I tend to do with mine, however, over and above that is the little the aluminium tube you get in B&Q, which is about, it's up there somewhere. I could bring it down, but it's maybe quarter of an inch diameter.
Yeah.
What I do with that, I cut a little piece off, like a little 10
a little sleeve. Yeah.
put the LED in that, and it's totally light blocked. There's no way anything's going to get through it.
Yeah.
But
I've got loads of carbon tube, to tell you the truth, so I could use that.
it's worth maybe trying the light in the tube before you do the final assembly. So you may be
Yeah,
surprised.
the idea was I could just put them in the back once it's all painted. I didn't want to put the clear down this part of the cannon, because when you paint it, you're going to end up with paint over it. It's really difficult to mask.
Yeah.
But I just realised if I glue that on, I can't get it in. I hit the wall here. So I'll have to paint it and glue it on at the very end after I've got the LED in. So I'll have to leave those off. Isn't a real problem.
It's a kit I hadn't looked at before, but it looks really interesting. It's because of the size. I was expecting something the size of the hobby knife or something, but when you see it there with you, it's a lot bigger.
Understand that's 1 foot. It's got to be 18 inches tall, if not taller.
Oh, that's impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I like big models.
The problem is it won't go in the cabinet.
Yes, I have the X-Wing here, and it won't fit in the cabinet either, and it's not allowed to sit on top of the cabinet.
Well, the top of mine's full of the 124th RAF planes, so I've got no room on top of my cabinet.
I got one of the Hurricanes and the Debenhams.
We did that kit. It's okay, apart from you can't put the engine in the way they tell you to. It won't fit properly.
Oh, I know. But so, are you a sci-fi convert then, or is it purely a small side road on the?
Well, if you watch the channel, we'd never do the same thing twice. We'll have next weekend. Well, this weekend coming, we've got to do a car build. So it's.
Oh, that's my nemesis.
we do a bit of everything.
Someone from the States sent me a car kit last year because I'd never done a car.
That's what we've got.
Oh, it is possessed. It's a possessed car, and the kit is possessed as well.
Yeah.
The problems I have with it.
Gyra sent this one. I didn't buy this kit.
Yep.
And John sent the 2 Vipers. So that's why we've done the Viper. That's why I'm doing this. And we've got James, Malpar Modeler, sent the 2 Chrysler car kits. So we keep going off our own builds because people send them. We've got to build them. So our stash is getting larger.
What was the story about the submarine? I didn't get the gist of what happened with it. Or is that a bad subject? Sorry.
It's a build. It's your comfort zone build.
Right.
It's the biggest pile of crap in a box.
Which sub was it?
It's U-47 by Revell, the one that's got the side cutaway.
Oh, right, yeah. Is that one?
Really, really bad. The details rubbish in it. The quality, it is a real poor kit. And the way I look at it, it'll probably take, I don't know, 30 hours to build. Do I waste 30 hours on that, or do I spend 30 hours on something that I want to build?
Oh,
You know.
I can imagine what you would say to a 1/350 scale Enterprise then. Oh, I know it's all the sci-fi builders. We all want to do the Enterprise justice, but we know we haven't got a year of our life to spend. Well, I have 3 of them
Oh,
that I bought when they were cheap, and it's one of those things. When I retire, I am determined to build at least one of them up to a decent. But then that's even the painting alone's about 3-4 months.
well, it's the same as me with Spitfires. I've got the Edard Royal kit, that's 2. I've got the 32nd Revell, well, 2 32nd Revels, and 50 1/72 Spitfire kits.
50?
50. I've had every single mark from the prototype to the latest one, and every
God.
brand going.
No, I'm not. I'm bad with the sci-fi stuff, but I'm not to that level. Oh my God! Right, okay.
The advantage is, though, with a small 72nd, you can pick them up nice and cheap. You know, those only £2-3 a piece, so you tend to get carried away.
Build a whole squadron.
Yeah.
No, I'm more a German aircraft World War II fan than a RAF.
Alex has gone mad on Focke-Wulfs. He's bought a couple of Focke-Wulf 190s.
Yeah, oh, beautiful, beautiful. That's my favourite. Or the Messerschmitt 262. That's the other one.
He bought a 32nd 262 as well recently. Alex did.
Very good.
It's a bit of a rough kit. I can't remember what brand it is, but I think it's a Matchbox, like a Reeboks Matchbox.
Yeah.
Oh, it might be a Revell then.
Oh yeah, that's classic Revell to do that. So.
Yeah, with their 32nd stuff, so always Matchbox.
That's what this. I mean, this kit was obviously a Matchbox originally. A long time ago. Oh, I had a micro set of these, and I put them somewhere. Can I find them? Oh, I revamped all the workspace, and I thought I knew where I put everything, but I didn't. Interesting one you did about the 0.5 needle and the Vita.
Oh.
Enjoyed that.
Oh, they got a few thumbs down. That one did.
That's people.
Hey.
I think if you see one thumbs down, people join the bandwagon then and give it more.
It don't bother me anyway, but I just thought, well, that's unusual.
Well, of course, you can turn off comments. That's the way around that one. But...
No, I said I'd never turn off comments.
No.
And all that gets me, I don't mind if they comment. We've had some comments that have been a bit, and we always reply to them. You know, we don't lose it. We apologise or whatever. And 9 times out of 10, they'll apologise back, sort of thing, and realise then. But it's when they just put thumbs down and you don't know why.
Yeah.
Is it the fact that they don't like Vida? The fact that I said I had it from Bart Sharp and they've had a bad experience with Bart Sharp? I've ended up with the thumbs down, but I don't know. Whereas if they'd have said, at least I'd have known what the reason was. So,
that's where I got my last compressor from, because of your reviews and so on of Bart Sharp. And to be honest, the dealings with them were quite good. I had no complaints, but I had ordered 2 accessories that didn't come in the box. They sorted it out, sent them out. So
yeah. I say I've had no problems. You know, if I had, I wouldn't have recommended them. And to tell the truth, for Vida spares, you can't get them from anywhere else. You don't have much choice. But well, if you've watched the channel, we use Vida non-stop. But we always do our builds live. So if it goes pear-shaped, we haven't edited it out. You know, because we've got that crap. But I think the problem with cheap airbrushes, you'll get people buy them thinking they've never airbrushed before and it's going to all go nice and smooth. It doesn't matter what airbrush they buy. When you're new to it, it's just a pain in the arse, to tell you the truth.
It is a steep learning curve.
And I think then they just think, oh, it's a pile of crap. But they could spend £300 on one and they're still going to have the same issues. We actually have this harder, this Infinity, block up more often than the Vida ever did, because the tolerances are so tight on this.
Yeah. If you get
It makes it actually makes it worse.
Yeah.
It makes it worse.
Yeah. Well, I mean, everything I have is the Chinese variety. So, but touch wood, I've no major issues. So, the biggest problem is laziness, not cleaning them properly.
That is number one with an airbrush. If you don't
Yeah.
clean it, you're going to have problems. No matter. We still have problems because we haven't cleaned it properly. Just because it's 3 o'clock in the morning and we just want to get some sleep.
Yes. Well, I wouldn't have a problem because I wouldn't be up. So that's one thing I don't do. I'm not a night bird. I'm out here tonight because it's Monday night, which is soap night, and I can get an hour and a half while she watches her soaps. But could be worse. I ordered a sprue cutter today because I had been using these, just ordinary elliptical, but
Oh yeah.
I just can't get close enough with some things, and I'm just worried about breaking some of the parts on this thing.
Well,
So
I actually got some off eBay that were quite really good. I always used to cut my own, grind my own down, the small like pound shop electrical pliers.
Yeah.
But I got these. I think they're about £2.50 delivered.
Very similar to the ones I've ordered, I think. The name now, but
I can't remember the name because we've worn it off.
Oh, I know. It's funny the tools that make such a difference. Some tools just make the whole thing a pleasure. I used to build when I was about probably Alex's age originally, and then said I'd gone out of it for years and just bought the odd kit now and again just to stash away. And when I come back into it 2 years ago, the way things have changed.
You wouldn't have thought that could have done, would you really? At the end of the day, what? I know a lot of people say it's changed an awful lot. But is it that you've just gone into it in more depth rather than things have changed? You just didn't realise before.
I just didn't. I mean, I was into. I'm a big Trekkie. Star Trek's my first love. So I tend to spend a lot of time and effort doing things that way. And then the goal had always been to build the Enterprise, so I sort of got back into the sci-fi building first, and then because I'd always been interested in aircraft as well, just got started to do the aircraft again too. And it just brought back so many memories of building them. But I mean, years ago it was enamel paint with brushes, and the glue was like, everywhere on your hands except on the aircraft.
Fingerprints everywhere.
Yes, that to me extra thin stuff.
Oh yeah.
That just has a complete difference in work with it. So.
I think what's changed it so much is the internet, because you realise what's out there. Normally, modelers, you tend to be more on your own, not talking to people as such. Yeah. You don't realise what's going on in the rest of the world. With the internet, you're building and, oh God, I didn't know that, or I didn't know you could get that. And I think it's just the fact that you see more that you think, a lot of the stuff was probably around years ago, but not having the internet, you probably wouldn't have never realised.
Yeah, true enough. I mean, the people like you and Alex doing the videos, it's when I first started watching your tips and tricks and so on. It was just the way you were doing certain things. I just sort of thought, I hadn't thought of doing it that way. Or, I mean, my wife laughs now. I can't go past Poundland without going in, so because of ring a buy. So,
that is one thing though, you do get ripped off at model shops, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's the model shop, I'm just saying it's the manufacturers that take advantage of you.
Which is the reason why so many of them go and bust, because they can't compete with the online prices, or the Chinese prices. Whereabouts in the UK are you?
By Birmingham, well, not far from Birmingham.
Well, that's where I'll be in May.
May. All right.
May the 23rd, 26th to be exact. Sorry. Maybe you can work out with that. This you probably won't, but depends what kind of music you're into.
Not into it, to tell you the truth. Not really.
Paul McCartney.
All right.
At the indoor arena. No, my wife's treating me, so I've always, I'm not a big music fan, but because of the age I am, I'm a child of the '60s. So I'm
Yeah.
always into the Beatles and so on. So I've always wanted to see McCartney live. So we couldn't get the tickets, and he's playing Liverpool as well. We couldn't get Liverpool tickets; just sold out instantly. But Birmingham was available, so I haven't been in Birmingham since must be 18 years ago.
To tell you the truth, I don't go in there. I don't want the place. I'm closer to Wolverhampton really than Birmingham. It's just that
Yeah.
Birmingham's well known.
Yep. My daughter's in Durham University, and then she's got a job now. She starts in September in Cambridge, which is where she was previously at university, teaching. So she's a good primary school teacher. So all pleased. No model shops in Cambridge, but there's none at all. They've all gone. It's the first thing I always do. I go if I travel anywhere at all, I go and look at the model shops. We had our 25th wedding anniversary last year, and we were married in Rome originally, so we went back to Rome for the anniversary.
Yeah.
And that first couple of days, I was a good little boy and stayed with her and did all the things you do, like honeymoon sort of thing. And then I started looking for the model shops. And unfortunately, there were three, but two of them had closed. I eventually found the third one, which was specialises in ships, which is the reason he's still in business, because he sells to all around the world. Some of the big ship builders or ship manufacturers, ship model manufacturers are in Italy, so there seems to be a business thing from that point of view. The shop opened in 1934, and it's still on the go. So great grandson's running it now.
Yeah.
Nice to see. Nice to see.
I think that is the only chance you've got really. If you're specialised, if you just run of the mill average, you just can't, can you?
Yeah,
The
exactly.
internet will just kill that off.
I would love to go to Telford, but it's not likely going to happen. One of these days, you never know.
Like I say, we've got Cosford coming up April. I think it's April.
That'd be nice too. Yeah. Well,
I like
same
the
thing.
Cosford one.
Yeah, I've been in Cambridge a lot of times. I've always wanted to go down to Duxford, but again, it just doesn't work out time-wise.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping now if my daughter's living in Cambridge, it might be more of an opportunity to get down to see it. But Cosford would be nice, yeah, with the tiger and all the rest of it. Is that far from you?
Sorry, Cosford.
Cosford, far from you?
About 20 minutes.
That's so lucky, yeah. The only thing we have over here, we've got the Ulster Aviation Society, which is quite good. One of my other friends, Randall Scott, he's a member of that. I keep meeting to try and get to see it, but they've got quite a collection of aircraft, but it doesn't generally be open to the public. It's a strange one. They just bought a Phantom.
All right.
I think it was a former, one of the Gate.
Gate Guardian.
Yeah. No engine, of course. So. What about commissions? You don't do commissions?
No. It's like work then. It's still the truth.
Well, that's a piss.
We did. We've done well over 100 now.
Yeah.
I reckon about 130, 140. I haven't sold or got rid of one of them. I've still got every single one. I don't sell them either. We're getting to the stage now where there's no room, and I've got to think about doing something with them. The only one that I have actually thought that I'm doing the Frankie Day's bomber group build, and I'm going to do the camera, and I've got the full every photo etch set and that for it, and I've got 3 cameras, so I might do this one and just drop it on eBay, see if because RAF planes fetch silly money on eBay if they're half decently built, so I might try it. Just because
It's
I've got no room.
it's well, it's like the sci-fi models. The Enterprise is the one that everyone wants. I've mentioned that before. And there's a guy in Florida. There's a couple of guys in the States, but there's one particular fella in Florida, Simon Merckx, and he charges $15,000, but he's booked up for the next 2 years.
Yeah.
So it's different planet, of course, different way of doing things. But when you see the last one, he just finished one there and delivered it to Arizona, and it's 3,200 hours of work.
Mm.
So it's not charging that much really for it, but it's just the time and effort involved in it. But I just couldn't keep out one model like that for that length of time. I would be in the funny firm.
Yeah, no, neither can I.
You need to have the break. That's one good thing about you. I mean, you constantly, you've built so many, but you constantly change to a different genre or a different model.
Oh yeah. We haven't stuck. The only thing that I've done lots of is Spitfires, but I never just have a Spitfire on the go. That's just something to drop on in between. I've always, we've done a bit of absolutely everything.
And you've done so many videos now as well. That's when you've the time.
Oh no. Well, to tell you the truth, if you've noticed, the last couple of weeks they've halved to one a day. Instead of 2 a day, 7 days a week.
Oh my goodness, they'll be worried about you. They'll think something's wrong. He's not well.
Within 2 days, I did have people get in touch. For God's sake, people say one video a week, no longer than 3 minutes. That's the optimum. I thought I'll put 2 hours a day up, 7 days a week.
I don't know if have you got the income generation turned on? You should if you're getting that number of.
Mate, to tell you the truth, you don't make any money at it unless you're into gaming and things like that.
Yeah,
you look at
has to be 100,000. Yeah.
Some of them they're on like 500,000 hits a day.
Yeah.
You make good money. I mean, real good money. Modelling, we do well. We get on average a month about 15,000. But it's still not making a lot of money.
Yeah, but as long as it pays for the hobby a little bit, it goes towards your expenses. So.
Well, we've had over 500,000 views.
Wow.
The
weird thing is, on my channel,
yeah.
the thing on my channel that's got the most views was I was on the Weakest Link about 6 years ago.
Oh right.
And it was a friend, the girl who won it actually was on the week. She had lost her DVD of the episode, and I said I'll transfer it onto YouTube for you. And I knew I couldn't call it the Weakest Link because I knew the BBC would be down in top making a ton of bricks. And so it's just called TWL, and then I think the date or something, because you wouldn't recognise what it was. It's had 5,500 views or something. So how does anyone know what it is? But there you go. Unless she's a lot of friends I don't know about.
I'll tell you the only drawback. We always reply to every comment. We've had like, I don't know what it was, 50,000 comments or something ridiculous. It does. Some days you think, oh God, but if you miss one day, you got twice as many the next day. Oh, shit.
Well, I think that's why Philip Flory and
they just disable them, don't they?
And Genesis models. Well, he had that experiment. He did that one night.
Oh no, he did what? He did one on his own after and gave up then.
Yeah, I wonder why. I don't know.
I don't know.
Well, I know Philip gets a fairly good turnout for that Tuesday night thing he does. I'm a subscriber at the minute, but it's just sort of because he had some interesting stuff on the site, but I don't think I'll stay for a year. I don't think it's worth that money. I don't know, but
I don't think it is. I do, but to be truth, I never even look on there. And you won't believe this. I had a good week last week when I had those kits come from America, and I can't remember what else came. Yeah. And Phil Flory sent me a message. I'd won the monthly prize draw.
Well, that's the way it goes. That's.
Oh, no, I forgot to ever go on the lottery though. I thought, shall I ever go on the lottery? No.
What's the rollover? Is it a rollover tomorrow night? It was 74 on Friday. I wonder if it'll be tomorrow night.
It was a set of Flory washes.
That's handy, yeah.
But to tell you the truth, do you use Flory washes?
I have never. The only thing I have is a Vallejo wash. I tend to just use pastels.
Well, to tell you the truth, since he changed the company, they're crap. They're not the same. I've used Flory washes for since day one, more or less, and he's changed them because he hasn't got the sales side of it now, has he?
Right.
He's
Well, I
set the
didn't
company
know.
up.
Right.
You ask anybody that uses the new ones, they're just not the same. There's a lot of detergent in there that bubble up an awful lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's nowhere near so much pigment in there. So,
Probably overdoing the surface
well,
thingy.
what's obviously happening, the company that's took over wants to make a bit more money, so we put a bit more detergent in and leave a little bit of clay out and a bit more profit, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, of course. Sorry, someone's just messaging me here. So,
Oh, right.
someone's. That's Neil Wooding, who I mentioned earlier on. Actually, he's on about the new Apple Watch. Which
Oh,
of course, he wants the gold one. What? You see the price of the gold one? 10,000.
mate, to be the truth, Apple, I just don't bother with.
I'd be careful. I'm an Apple fan. You just
Well,
watch
Alex used to have Apple, but
Yep.
even Alex saw the light and went to Samsung.
Oh dear, the dark side. I know.
I got through about 5 iPhones because of work. I was breaking them all the time. I got sick of the screens breaking. I thought,
Oh, I know.
sod this for a game.
It's one of my side incomes is repairing Macs or setting them up and sort of software problems. You don't get that many hardware problems, but I know that's what I'm using at the minute. It's a Mac, so it's
Well,
handy.
to tell you the truth, I was only saying, well, I do need a new PC, but Alex had one a few weeks ago. He needed one for school and that. But this one here, this hasn't been off since the day we started YouTube. The only time it's been off, we had a power cut. This one runs 24/7.
Reliably, yeah. So.
I did a video yesterday with Greg. You know those ones that we were doing like on.
Oh, they're excellent. The one on the glues and.
This one was hour and a half long on sanding sticks. I don't know where we managed hour and a half on sanding sticks, but we did. On an hour and a half. It was 9 gig. I had to try and upload.
Right.
It took about 900 minutes to get the damn thing up.
You don't downgrade the video as it stands.
Well, to tell you the truth, we have to do it a different way. I normally record in 1080.
Yep.
I'll render it into MP4, then I'll compress it with Handbrake.
I was going to say Handbrake's
20.
what I was going to talk about, so you're ahead of me, yeah.
Yeah, but what happens, me and Greg do a hangout like this, and I record it on my PC directly onto my hard drive using Corel. He does it in WM.
V?
Yeah.
WMV.
But once I put it in Corel Video Studio, when he puts it into, it's like, say, 900 meg. When I put it into Corel and then render it, it comes out like 7 or 8 gig. When it's converted it back to MP4, then I'll put it in Handbrake and I'm still at like 4 gig. It's just the way it works to keep the quality.
Can't you just upload the WMV? It won't let you do that, no?
The quality's a bit naff.
I know Windows Media format is always a bit strange. I know I do videos. I'm a medical photographer for my sins in the National Health Service, so I do quite a lot of videos, and that's one of our issues is getting them reduced in size. But I know with the Mac editing software, it will export to YouTube, so it does everything in one go.
I could put it in. Is it H.264?
H.264. That's what I use most of the time. Yeah.
If I've done that before, the very first one I did that, but it knocked the quality because the problem is the streaming quality is not the best in the world anyway. My stream's always quite weak because I can't get the bandwidth here. I can't get fibre optic. Greg's got fibre optic, so it's easier to stream it like this.
Here, yeah.
Yeah, and Greg's quality is better than mine, so if I screen capture the Hangout, my quality is reasonable because it's just directly from the webcam to the TV, and Greg's got the better quality to record his in. But then we got the sound issue. We're trying to get it sound right because it won't capture the two and overlay the two soundtracks easily.
Right. I know. I use a piece of software called. Hold on, I can't remember the name of it. It's ScreenFlow. I think there may be a PC version. The idea behind ScreenFlow is it records everything that's going on in the machine.
Well,
now the problem is
Corel, they've just brought it out. I got Corel Video Studio X7. I've just bought it out about 2 weeks ago in X8, and it actually has got that built into the software. But I just can't be bothered to buy the new one.
Yeah,
I've only had 7 in about 2 months.
Yeah, the only thing I would warn you about, we talked about the SSD. Just be careful. The SSDs actually have a very finite lifespan. People don't realize how finite they are. If you're doing video work, a lot of them are only rated for 40 terabytes. Now, if you do screen recording or a live broadcast recording, as you say, 9 gigabytes. Do that 10 times a month. That's 90 gigabytes. So in a year you could wear out the SSD.
Yeah. So like I said, this one's on. What kills it is rendering. You look at the processor; it's 99%, and that's hours after hour.
Yeah.
Rendering's a killer for all of them.
Some of the PCs now, if you get a better graphics card, the graphics card will do the rendering for you.
I've got to change it to it. I've got that. You can get a 3 gig one.
My son just got a 4 gigabyte one, so he got a new PC at Christmas for gaming primarily, and it maxed it out as much as it could. So it's an 8-core AMD processor and a 4 gigabyte graphics card. And
that's what I saw. To tell you the truth, it was quite a good price. It was only around about £500.
He built it himself. It worked out 620, I think it was. But it was a really good spec, So.
The downfall I found, because it's in the same room as the modelling room, the fans pick up all the overspray, and I'm constantly having to blow it out. And you think, how much do you spend? Obviously, the more processors, the more heat you generate, the more susceptible to overheating and frying something. It's this one was really hot in the summer.
Yeah, I hadn't thought of your problem with dust and so on too, and that was VR modelling. I know here I'm in the garage and. Dust just builds up over time. I have to keep cleaning everything, but don't say this is a Mac laptop I'm on. It's not even a desktop, so it copes okay if I'm doing a hangout, say, and you've maximum 10 people. Whereas I have an old Macintosh, which is underneath this one, which is 6 years old.
Yeah,
I can talk one-to-one, but as soon as another person comes in, it just falls over. So yeah.
My biggest drawback is not being able to get fibre optic. I can't complain because, to tell you the truth, they must be going mad. I'm sure they've slowed my broadband speed down. You imagine how many gig a month I get through doing the 24 hours and all of the videos.
Well, they say it's unlimited, but there's sometimes little small print then.
I made sure there was no small print, mate, because normally it's 40 or 50 gig a month, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm sure it's 400 or 500 gig a month.
I'm with BT and I do download and stream an awful lot of stuff. The amount of TV programs, we stream everything now, so so again, it must be fairly fun. But again, they offer the service, so it's been a long time since I was ever limited.
Well, I actually started putting some onto the USB drive and taking it to work and using the work one as well. It was just saving time. It starts. I'll put one on this one in the model room to upload, and then I'll go downstairs and put one there, because if you put them to upload, they just queue, whereas if it's on a different PC, it puts them up at the same time. But then I got done at work for too much broadband use and I got charged for it.
Well, that's had to be careful on the health service, the same thing, be very careful. So we're limited a lot of what we do in here, so I'm hopefully getting a 4K camera for work, so because we're trying to keep up all the time with the medical staff, who quite often are quite affluent and have their own equipment, so they ask you to do stuff, and if you haven't got the equipment to do the stuff, it's a bit of a farce. So. But the 4K cameras have dropped a lot in price compared with what they were. Oh, this thing's parts and parts and parts and parts. I had been doing a sci-fi build of a Star Wars Star Destroyer, but I've left it for a while because I had a sci-fi. I lost my sci-fi mojo over something I won't go into now. But I'll show you this. I'll show you the Star Wars kit. 1 second.
Okay.
Well, or did I show you this before with the amount of optical fiber?
Oh God.
That's the side panel of a Star Destroyer. You know the big. Hold on, I'll get the kit itself.
Oh shit.
If you see it like that, you know what I mean.
Oh bloody hell.
So you know the ship it is.
Yeah.
So basically.
Couldn't you have done it without all the fibre optics and just lit the whole lot and light blocked it really well?
There's a debate about how to do this. There's different ways of doing it. What some people do is what you're saying is just basically fill it full of strip LEDs on the inside, and then just blast it basically with light and cut all the holes and the light come out. Problem with that is that the light will be very it's in a fixed point. You know, looking at it here, you'll see one set of lights. Looking at a different place, you see a different set of lights. You don't, you know, there's over 600 fibers so far, and the problem I'm going to have is getting it all inside the kit when it's together, which is why I've left it for a while, because I sort of was getting to the stage where I was getting fed up with it. So I'll leave it for a couple of weeks and go back to it again. But there's classic things like lighting it. I don't know. You may or may not see this. We'll see if we get this turned around the right way. I'll do it with a slight perhaps. Let's see if I can show it. There's a scene at the beginning of the movie, the original movie, where they.
I've only seen the original movie when it very first came out. How many years ago?
The very, very first scene in that is. This is probably not going to show up because of the amount of light on here. Do you see the well in the bottom?
Yeah.
The effect I'm going for. Oh, turn it around. Hold on. That's it. See the white light along the edge of the well, just up here where my finger is.
Yeah.
On the original movie, that's bright on both sides. So that part of the kit will be done the way you're talking about doing, just with bright LEDs on side, just bare LEDs. Yeah. But the rest of it will all have to be, these will have to be gathered into bundles.
Yeah, because the problem with LEDs, you can't reflect the light, can you?
Well, again, the way this is light blocked completely black, it doesn't look black there, but it's completely black on the inside. But these pieces have been deliberately left white to allow the light through in that part.
Yeah.
If you're doing a ship and you want the light to bounce around inside, you do the light blocking first in the black, or some people use silver, but it's frowned upon now. It doesn't seem to do the same job. So you light block first in black, several layers of black, then you paint it white.
Yeah.
And then the light just basically has nowhere to go, so it comes out to whatever. Well, the other thing someone suggested, and I hadn't thought of this, was do all the optical fiber, but leave it just loose on the inside, cut it short, and then the light will enter the fiber.
Yeah,
it's different methods, different ways of doing it, but it's not a huge big kit, but it's an interesting one again. So, but I will go back to it. But I think the next thing's going to be a tank, I think.
Oh, I can't get on with them. I can't. I just. No. Tank, it's just build it and paint it. There's no. With aircraft, it's completely different. Where you sub-assembly paint it with a tank. I've got my Sherman. I will put it at the loft out the way. It's at the paint stage, but I built it. It wasn't a problem. It was a Dragon, but I just didn't enjoy it. And I'm thinking, you know, why bother if you're not enjoying it just for the sake of doing a tank?
This is true. I think that's why I'd gone off the sci-fi. I was doing too much sci-fi.
I think you can.
Yeah. So that's why I'm happy now with the jumping back and forth, a ship or a tank or an airplane. Sorry.
Like at the moment, I've got this on the go. I've got my truck on the go, and I've got the 3 Defiants. So they're all different. So, you know, whatever I'm in the mood for, I've got on the go rather than think, ooh, you know.
What you say, Defiant? Oh, sorry, the
Bolton
Ball Defiant. You see, yeah. I could Star Trek in my head again.
No. I've not done that mad yet.
Oh dear. The only kit I've got 3 of is the 1/72 scale Angel Interceptor. You know, the Captain Skipper.
The little Airfix one.
Yeah, because it was one of their clearance offers for $2.99. Yeah. And the original series has 3 of them on the deck.
At the front now, isn't he?
Yeah. Oh, I'll probably.
Enough.
Yeah. I'll get around to that again too. But I want to do a diorama of that one. That's the classic scene from the TV series, but we'll see. Although the pilots look nothing like angels.
Oh God, Airfix pilots don't look like anything. Did you see the instructions for this? Is the instructions for that Mobius? That is the instructions for the pilot.
And it probably looks nothing like a human being, I suppose. But oh no, it's I did a SPAD 13 from World War One, and
Yeah.
the Revell kit, it came with 3 figures. And
the 28 scale.
28 scale one, and I tried, but they're so badly molded.
Alex did the Sopwith Camel, and I did the DR1 with von Richthofen, and Alex did the winged. Oh God, what's his name? Who shot down von Richthofen?
Yeah.
Brown. Yeah, and as you say, those figures, they're just terrible. They're not humans, they're aliens.
Yeah. One thing, I ordered a 1/10 scale bust. I'll never go with a figure painting. I saw this. It's a German. I can't do the right term now. It's a machine gun carrier, 1943 or something. Lovely look. When you see it finished, it looks superb. But it's a resin kit, so coming from China, so it'll probably not be here until sometime in April. But it's very, very cheap, £13, so I can't complain.
That's one thing. Figures, no chance. I'm never even going to bother. I can't. No.
That sounds like a challenge, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm not even going to go there.
Oh, dear. You don't bother with Facebook? I don't know. Michael Cohen's actually building one of these at the minute. You know, on International Scale Modeler.
Yeah.
He started building one of these ships, but he's doing a thing called the Moose Jaw, and
he is. Yeah.
Very little information about it. I don't know how he's doing it because he's only got one picture of one side. So. No details available. So what? How long do you think now to finish the step, or is that?
Well, it's the light. It's programming the lighting that's going to be the problem.
Yeah.
It's just finding the time. I'll probably do it at work, but at work, what I've been doing the last a bit last week and this week, I've got the car kits and I've took everything off the spruers, cleaned everything up so it's ready to assemble. So I've done the 2 Chryslers. That was a day each. I've also done it with my Canberra bomber, bagged everything up into each sub-assembly, just to save time. So that'll help on that. So what I'm going to do, I'll get this all in primer, and then I'll probably take one of the Arduinos to work and have a play at sorting out some programming for it. I know how to do each one individual. Yeah. It's getting them to sequence. That's I've got the programming. I've done them, and I've got about 6 Arduinos, all the different ones. Some very small ones, which I'll just solder directly to. I won't put the pins on. It just makes it a bit smaller to drop in. I've got the other ones with the breadboards, and I've done them all. They're all done, and I've got the sequences that I want. Now it's getting the code to run a sequence that I want.
Yeah.
I've also got, but it hasn't arrived yet, I've got a couple of remote controls coming, 4-channel remotes to run it. So I can actually have it sequence off remote.
Yeah, the little infrared one?
Yeah. The little 4-channel, only £2, transmitter and receiver. At the price, I thought, well, they haven't arrived yet. It just makes life easier than
what wiring?
Interrupt.
Yeah. What wiring did you use for the kit? It looks very fine anyhow, so...
That is, it's what I've done. Used it before. I just took, it was off a pump.
Magnet wire? Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Well, to tell you the truth, I need to run it up, and the other one, if I've got it in his body, I need to run it up his arm, so I need something very fine.
Yeah.
As long as you don't scratch the insulation, it's fine. And I have checked the resistance, even through this lot. We haven't got enough of a drop to even bother taking it into account, to tell you the truth.
Yeah. I know that's magnet wire is the big one that a lot of the sci-fi Starship modelers use. I tend to stick to it's what's the right term for it? It's very similar, but it's got an actual insulation coating on it.
The insulation tends to double the diameter, though, doesn't it, all the time?
It does, yeah.
You know, there's 6 wires there. It might even be 8, to tell you the truth. I can't remember.
No, you're doing a great job. That's what I'm saying. It's interesting to see that you've gone on so much with the being a first. Well, I think a first time.
Yeah.
It's a handy practice too for the truck kit, I suppose.
Well, the truck was the one. This is the experiment, so we'll get it right for the truck. I say I've got all the surface mount LEDs for the truck and everything.
Are they pre-wired?
Sorry?
Are they the pre-wired ones, or did you just?
No. Well, just to tell you the truth, all my transistors and that I've got surface mount to get everything as small as possible.
Right.
Which is going to be fun.
Yeah.
I just started. Just cut some. It was some like board for in the. Where are they? I've actually drilled them out. I don't know whether you can see through them. Well, probably not. Hang on. They're drilled out.
Oh yeah.
And that one's done as well.
Very nicely done too.
I'm going to have this with three LEDs on this side, 3 on that side, in there, but I want different colours. Yellow at the front, which you always see, but I want blue at the back, just to be awkward if I can. But I need to diffuse the light, and there's not a lot of room, to tell you the truth. By the time that goes in there, everything's so close.
Yeah. I tend to use the big bottles that are hold on, where are they? Bottles that we buy our fabric softener in bulk.
Yeah.
So it's almost like a milk bottle plastic, but it's much more opaque. You might even find that using a piece of thin styrene.
The thin white will probably do it, won't it?
Yeah.
Really thin. I've got plenty of that.
Yeah, you'll still get if you show it on camera, you'll still get a hot spot. Hot spots always show up on camera, but you should find to the eye it's fantastic. Because that's how I did the X-wing engines with the same stuff.
I didn't know whether to do like you can get them to flicker like a flame.
All you need to do there is if you get one of the candle bulbs, the little you get them again Poundland. If you put a candle bulb in the circuit, it will make them all flicker. So you don't have to do anything. You just have one candle bulb in the circuit, and the rest of them will all flicker in a similar way.
Yeah.
It's one idea, but
I could put an RGB LED and just change the colours to be awkward.
Change the colour that way. Well, no, it's another method. That's I've got 2 of those in my X-wing for the for R2D2 and the cab and the cockpit. Basically, I used optical fibre, drilled out the whole cockpit for all of the different dials and so on. Then I mixed up the optical fibre so they're not all going to the same LED, and then I had 2 random RGB LEDs, so it looks like the whole cockpit's constantly changing.
Oh, right, yeah.
Simple ideas.
The only downfall with this, I've probably only got inch to play with, which is worrying. That I didn't really, normally with a little bit more depth, it's very shallow.
Yeah.
The only other thing is if this has got holes drilled in it, if I have LEDs one side, light would probably come out. I don't know whether it won't reflect the damn stuff. I don't know.
It's light blocking, as I said, is probably the only issue that you maybe haven't covered, and you'll see if there's a problem when you get to that stage. But you get it as well with if you're doing spaceships and you've got a flashing beacon.
Yeah.
And you've another piece of the ship where it's a normal light.
Yeah.
If you don't separate 2 compartments with a little plastic compartment light block, you end up with the flashing light will show up through whatever other holes you have in the ship. So that's the issues you get. But it's a learning exercise. I look forward to seeing the funny skit.
I like having a play.
Trying to get a hold of one of them. So. Because it's one of those ones that I've seen and ignored it because I thought it was a little small model, but it's obviously much
you
bigger
look at, to tell you the truth, I've struggled to find pictures. It's all of this particular one, and mainly box pictures. And I've even looked at the bloody bits and pieces of the film, but you never see the damn thing in flight.
Yeah. I must check. I have a couple of Star Wars reference books. I must see if there's any shots of it, but if I do get hold of them, sure, I'll send them on to you.
See, the best ones are some studio scale stuff, you know, that looks quite nice. The colours look completely different to on the box. But as you know, a printed box colour is nowhere near the right colour. It could be a bloody 10 shades off, you know. It looks much darker.
I look forward to seeing the finished article. I'm going to head now since it's time I was in back with my wife to watch something on TV here. But as always, Monday night's my best night. I'm usually out here for an hour and a half. So if you're about next week, I'll same thing.
That's great. Thanks a lot for inviting me anyway.
Thanks for coming in, Chris.
No problem, mate. Thanks a lot. See you.
Good night. Good night. Bye.